Welcome everybody and welcome to my live draft updates. Co-host who's usually here, Preston, is at a event in Detroit right now, so he cannot be with me here to do our live updates. Um, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 mock draft before the Suns pick. The Suns pick is they're on the clock right now, so they're not picked. They're not picking yet. Um, this video will only be for the first 10 picks. Um, so, first, definitely it's going to be Aiden. There's not even any debate whether it's going to be Aiden or Doncic or Bagley. It's going to be Aiden. Aiden's already signing Phoenix Suns jerseys and stuff. So, I mean, it makes sense how it's Aiden, and it's kind of like an AD situation from when he was signing New Orleans jerseys before he was even drafted. Um, uh, Sorry if you hear Netflix going. I'm at my house. So people are watching TV and stuff, and I'm doing this right in the middle of the eating space. Next is going to be Bagley. Bagley he's an effortless scorer. He can dominate a game, and I'm guessing they want him to be more like a DeMarcus Cousins. Um, DeMarcus Cousins is gone now, and so they need a new guy, a cornerstone of the franchise, and maybe this Bagley Fox will be um, will be um, a Shaq Kobe thing. Don't think so, but that is still a cornerstone of your franchise. And DeAndre Ayton was just selected at number one. Nobody is surprised. DeAndre Ayton, who the uh, the crap, I'm blanking here. Um, the Sacramento Kings are on the clock. Who they drafted Bagley. I was just talking about it. um, we'll see what Bagley will be able, or what Ayton will be able to do in Phoenix. But Bagley is back to Bagley. Bagley is a great player who can do everything really. So I mean, you don't need one specific area of 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 placement because he's basically a space the floor guy. He can space the floor and he can dominate at any point. And if you just, it doesn't matter. He can dominate. Three is actually might be quite not necessarily controversial, but the Atlanta Hawks um, will select Jaren Jackson, and I was gonna put Luka Doncic here, but the 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 Hawks have Dennis Schroeder right now, and then Torian Prince at the small forward, and those are really Luka's um, spots that really people would put him at their small forward or point guard because he's better. He's a better pass. He's too good of a passer to be a shooting guard, and that kind of sounds kind of dumb, but it's just true, really. Um, and I can see him fitting in, or I can see Jaren fitting in well with the Hawks. They need a big guy after Dwight is gone. They need a cornerstone of the franchise, and this is the best one of the guys who were underlooked going into this college basketball year. They were talking about Miles Bridges and stuff, um, and how Miles Bridges was one of the best players in basketball. Well, Jaren was overlooked, and now Miles isn't even in the top 10 of the draft. What people aren't even putting him in the top 10 of the draft. It, it's ridiculous, and if somebody drafts him in the top 10, that'll be just crazy. Next, I do have Luka Doncic at the 4, going to Memphis. Memphis draft create a big three, semi big three of Mike Conley, Luka, and Marc Gasol. So I think it'll be good. They'll be good. They'll mesh. And they won't be the first team in the league next year if they're able to get Luka Doncic. Because if Luka is picked at number 3 or at number 4, um, then they just, if Luka is picked at number 4, then that they'll be a whole lot better of a team. He could possibly be the steal of the draft at number 4 if you call it 4 steals. 5 is Mohamed Bamba. He reminds me of Dwight, a smaller, not necessarily smaller, he's like skinnier, but taller Dwight Howard. He's a great defensive player, not the best offensive player, but I'm sure can put up the points, and you don't really need to worry about it at all, really. Um, so, there's he's gonna be good wherever he goes, really, except for maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, because he doesn't even want to go there. You can't start with an unhappy start. That's just not good. Next is the Magic are on the clock here, not in real life, but in this. And Trae Young will be picked. A lot of people are putting Trae Young here, and I don't blame him. Trae Young belongs in Orlando, where it's just where he belongs, really. Orlando has a lot of bigs already. They have Vucevic, Aaron Gordon. They got just drafting another big would just put the halt on progression from those guys, and that's just not something the Magic can afford to do. Is halt the progression of their young players. They really need to accelerate it. Find ways to accelerate it, get some good coaches. I believe the Magic did sign Steve Clifford, so that's a big signing because he's a great coach. And Marvin Bagley was just selected, and the Hawks are on the clock. We'll see who they draft between Doncic and Jaren Jackson. I really do like the selection of Bagley, though. I think he'll look great in a Kings jersey, and he's used to playing good teams. He's ready for the NBA. He's one of the most NBA-ready players. I doubt he will sit on the bench really at all in his first year. At least starting game, he'll start games. But he has a 61% field goal percentage. He averaged 21 points, 11 rebounds, only 0.9 blocks though, and 0.8 steals. Didn't even average a full one. Averaged 2.3 turnovers throughout in one season at Duke. So he needs a little bit of his decision making to be altered and better, really. But I think he's one of the most NBA ready guys. The next guy I have on my list is also from Duke. He is Wendell Carter Jr. I'm thinking of Michael Porter. But Wendell Carter Jr. is a great player, and teams are going to overlook him because he kind of played in Marvin Bagley's shadow. And really, I do think that he did play in the shadow a little bit, and that's why teams overlook him. But he's a great player, and he's ready to be picked right after Trae Young. And wherever Trae Young, I feel like he's going to make the team better. He needs to work on his shot selection a little bit. He does have unlimited range, though, and some good ball handling skills, which is what you need when you're talking about this. And but Trae Young is just we're not even talking about Wendell Carter Jr. is just he's a great player, and he'll fit in perfectly with the Chicago Bulls, and it'll just be great for him, for the Bulls. And the Bulls, they need a cornerstone. They have Zach LaVine, they have Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter will just be a great player to have on the team. He's a center, and Lauri Markkanen can play power forward and stuff like that. Michael Porter Jr. is next to the Cavs at 8, and I think this is really big because this is like the most. He reminds me of LeBron and Tracy McGrady put together. He can do basically all of it, and he sorry if you can hear my dog. He's a good shooter, and he can do everything. He's 6'10". He's a great shooter. If he hadn't missed this whole year, he'd probably be the first pick of the draft, straight up. And the thing is, I think he's gonna be the steal of this draft at number 8. and I'm not the only one who thinks that. I was talking about Preston about it, and he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, that this guy's going to be a steal. And Michael Porter Jr. He's going to be a great player. He is, and it's just who knows really. But who knows? Yeah, I think he's the perfect replacement for LeBron. I don't expect him to average 20 points per game his first year, but I do expect him to progress well. Oh, the pick is in for Atlanta. Let's hold that right there because the pick is in. Who are they going to pick? Is it Jaren? Is it Luka? It is Luka Doncic. What I wasn't looking at, the Hawks had a need for point guards, shooting guards, and small forwards going into this draft. I disagree with a little bit of the point guard one because I do like Dennis Schroeder. He does want to leave. I think if he stays, he's a good player, average 19 points per game. But Luka's 6'6". He's a small forward, only 19 years old, 228 pounds. I mean, whoa. Looks like there's a trade. The rights have gone to the Dallas Mavericks. It looks like this is getting crazy. If Dallas getting Luka, that's just crazy because they got Dennis Smith. They got Dennis Smith, and then they got Dennis Smith and Luka will be one of the best duos in the league already. As soon as oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then Dirk is still going to be playing. If they had gotten Jaren, or if the Mavs had gotten Jaren or Bamba, that just, oh my gosh. The Hawks picked Luka. I'm very confused at what it is right now. I think that the Hawks traded down, and that's just what I'm thinking right now. That the Hawks traded down 2-5. He's 6'8". Just said he was 6'6". Who knows? But wow, that's very confusing. And Dallas is right after, and Memphis is on the clock right now. And that's just crazy. Did not expect that whatsoever. I'm really confused because it says the rights were traded to the Mavericks. He averaged 14 points per game, 45% field goal percentage, 30% from three, 4 assists, a steal, 5 rebounds, which is good. He can go up there and get rebounds, 2.2 turnovers, which is less than Bagley. Okay, so the Hawks receive a future first-round pick and the number 5 pick. The Mavericks receive Luka. So the Mavs basically traded up to number 3 and snatched Luka out of their hands. And the Hawks traded down to number 5 and got a future first-round pick, which I think is a beautiful trade because the Mavs are likely going. This is still a rebuilding effort for the Mavs. They're still likely going to. Be rebuilding this year, and I think this is a great trade for the Hawks. They get the number 5 pick. They likely can get Mohamed Bamba, and they're not Mohamed. Yeah, I think it's Mohamed. They can get Mohamed Bamba, and then they still get a future first round pick. And while they do need a shooting guard or something like that, they might get Trae Young. That might be the way to go, and that might change this whole mock draft that I made. I didn't expect really much trades in the first 5 picks, maybe the first 10 picks, maybe, but who knows? At this point, it's gonna be crazy. That's all I know. That was already crazy. Next is Michael Bridges, and that's, oh my gosh, that's just ridiculous. Wow, Michael Bridges from Villanova. He's not too young, and he's experienced. He knows what he's doing, and it's just he's a great player. He can shoot from 3, and he's a big reason that Villanova won March Madness, and so it's just my mind is bamboozled. I don't even know. There's commercials right now, but likely the pick will be likely in after the commercials. In the 10th pick, the last pick of the draft, if the Sixers want to go after Kawhi, which I think they should, trade Markel Fultz, a future first round pick, and somebody else and something else, maybe Covington or something, to get and give up on that. They can draft Colin Sexton from Alabama, who's likely a better point guard than Markel. So that'd just be crazy good for them, and just and so yeah. But that's my mock draft. I'm just here to react to this draft now and talk about it, because it's already been crazy, and we've only done 3 picks. The 4th pick will likely be in. If you're wondering why I'm wearing the same shirt as in the last live stream, I have not a dishwasher. I have a laundry machine. I did do that, and I just really like this shirt. So went through the washer, and now I am wearing it again because it was Thursday on Saturday. But there likely won't be a video this Saturday because Preston's in Detroit, and it's probably won't happen. And but yeah, I'm here to talk about the draft now. And wow, it's been crazy. Ayton is gonna. I see Ayton as once in a lifetime prospect. I think he's gonna be like Shaq. They're viewing him like Shaq right now. I can see him being like Shaq. Shaq is a dominating force, and I can see Ayton being that, and I can see since he's in. This is more like a Kobe Shaq thing. Devin Booker, who scores a lot of points, and he's already farther along in his progression than Kobe was at this point in his career. So I mean, this is just if Ayton can be this far in his career, and this far in his progression in his career if he can progress quickly, then he can be great. He's a very big hit or miss guy. If Ayton is not, he's hit or miss. So if he's not one of the best players from this draft, he's going to be a bust. The pick is in for Memphis. Let's talk about this. Jaren Jackson from Michigan State. He did say it would be fine for them to draft him, and I think this is a great pick for Michigan State. I just thought he'd be gone by the time they were able to pick him. I think it's great for them. He's a space the floor guy, but he can also rebound and he can dunk that boy. He's tall, he's strong, and this is he reminds me of Kevin Love. He can shoot the 3, 6'11", 236. He's not the hugest guy, the biggest guy, but he can really dominate a game in any way, shape, or form. He can just dominate the game, and that's what you want in a power forward. A guy who can power the ball in there. He was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and he averaged 10.9 points per game, which isn't great, but he'll probably average more than that in his rookie year. That's what I'm saying. He shot 51%, and that's not very great for a power forward, but he shot more from outside. He averaged 3 blocks per game. It's crazy. It's more than Marvin Bagley. He averaged less turnovers than Bagley. He averaged way less rebounds, but you could argue that this is the best guy in the draft class. You could argue it. I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying you could argue it. So I think this is a great pick for Memphis. And not only that, but their progression. And now the Mavericks are picking right now, or the Hawks are. The Hawks are on the clock right now for trading Luka Doncic to the Mavs, and I just still think that's crazy. The Hawks, who really, really needed him, and I could see Michael Porter Jr. going here at this point. Like, he's a guy who can play small forward, and I'd put him at small forward. He can space the floor, and he can just dominate, and I can see it happening. And the pick isn't in yet. They were fourth in the Southwest. They went 20, or the Mavs went 24-58. And with Luka Doncic, this will be a whole different team. I really like Luka Doncic. I think he was the best player in the draft. You can go check out my uh, you can go check out my podcast on anchor.fm / that's the game. 9 episodes uploaded so far. Also, Google and Apple Podcasts also have it. Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Casts, and Radio Public all have my podcast available for listening. And we talk about NBA, NFL, but that's about it. There's some NBA episodes, and I'll be making an episode tonight about tonight's draft. A lot of the episodes, the first episode's 25 minutes, then episode 2 is 27, episode 3 is only 11. My longest episode is episode 7, which it's 39 minutes, almost a full 40 minutes, which it's very close. And but if you guys want to go check that out, I will put the link in the description. But if you go on Apple Podcasts and search up That's the Game, it is basically the same logo as the YouTube logo, but it has That's the Game spelled out completely. And their higher quality podcasts haven't made one in almost a month, or almost 2-3 weeks actually. But there will likely be a podcast tonight about my reaction to the draft and where people went and such, and things like that. So just be ready for that. And there's a commercial right now. And the pick will probably be in. The rights were traded to the Mavs. So if the Mavs had, it would be really confusing because the Mavs could, like, if this was like real and they actually just traded the rights and they didn't like get anything in return except for the pick that the Mavs picked. The Mavs, they got Luka. They could just totally just sabotage it big time. But, I mean, I'm guessing that's what they do, but I mean, there's really no reason to right now. But the draft is going to be back soon. You can watch it on CBS.com, CBSSports.com. I believe it's also on CBS. The Magic pick is in. Okay. I missed something, obviously. We'll be right back. Trae Young was picked by the Mavs. He will be traded to Atlanta. And that's exactly what I was going to say. Trae Young would be a beautiful person to put here. So now the Magic can't get Trae Young. Who are the Magic going to pick? Right now it's probably going to be Colin Sexton or maybe Michael Porter. That's all I can think of right now. Sexton's the next best point guard in this draft class. He's the next best point guard in the draft class. And I don't even know. They might take Bamba. Bamba hasn't been picked yet. He's not a top 5 pick. So now we're looking at Bamba. Like, Bamba is now going to be one of the biggest steals of the draft. And what if the Spurs move into the top 10? If the Spurs traded Kawhi and moved into the top 10, they would have moved into it a long time ago. Probably for the first pick, they'd probably try and trade Kawhi for the first pick and some assets. First pick was the Suns, so they probably want Devin Booker and in the first pick, which is what I think, and Tyson Chandler. This is the pick that I would have traded for if I was the Spurs, and I wanted that first pick. I'd trade Kawhi. I'd trade Kawhi for Devin Booker, the first pick, and Tyson Chandler, which is pretty big, bold. Kawhi and actually that'd be a bad deal for the Suns. They would only get Kawhi. They wouldn't have Devin Booker. They wouldn't have Ayton. it'd just be Kawhi there. So the Spurs would get Devin Booker, they'd get Ayton, Devin Booker, and then a whole new era would start in San Antonio, and they'd still make the playoffs and stuff, and it'd just be ridiculous. They still have LaMarcus Aldridge, Ayton, Chandler. A Aldridge can play the 3. Booker can play the 2. Parker playing the 1. Booker playing the 2. Aldridge playing the 3. Ayton playing the 4, and Tyson Chandler playing the 5. That seems like a death lineup to me. It might not be able to beat. It puts them in win now mode, but also win in the future mode because they got 2 young stars. Trae Young will be on the Atlanta Hawks this year, though. Because Devin Booker is still very young. I believe he's only 21. 21 years old. Then you get your Devin Booker. You're 21. You go to San Antonio, where they'd probably give Phoenix Patty Mills too, but you come to San Antonio, who has freaking DeAndre Ayton, who's just been drafted and 19 years old. Then you got LaMarcus Aldridge, who's 32, but I mean he can still play with one of the best of them, and he had the best year of his career this year. And the pick is in for the Magic, and we'll see what this is, so we can see what it is. Pick is in the current selection. Mohamed Bamba going to the Magic. And this is something that I would not want, if I'm being completely honest. I think, okay, so basically the lineup for me is looking like they still have DJ Augustine at number 1, at the 1. Terrence Ross at the 2. They got Mohamed Bamba, or they got Aaron Gordon at the 3 because he's an undersized 4. Then they have Mohamed Bamba at the 4, and then they have Vukovic at the 5. That's how I see them working it out. That's how I see Steve Clifford working it out. Steve Clifford, he has had a hard time in his coaching career with only average talent. He had Kemba Walker, he had guys like Kemba, Dwight Howard, and such, like and people like that, which it's just, it'll be crazy. Magic just drafted Mo Bamba, and he averaged 12 points per game, bounce 3.7 blocks. Are you kidding me? Dude, that's so good. I mean, his wingspan is so long. He's 7'1", 226. He's a freshman. He's only 19 years old. This is the steal of the draft so far. Bamba, he might not put in that many points. He had 54 field goal percentage on 12 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3.7 blocks, only had 1.5 turnovers per game. He stole the ball a couple times this season, and this is one of the best picks of the day, and it's just crazy. It's I don't even know. At this point, it's just ridiculous. Sorry to hear my brother doing the dishes. Bamba is going to be the steal of the draft so far. It depends on who are the. Wendell Carter Jr. is who I think the Bulls are going to draft, but they probably won't because most of my predictions have been wrong so far. It's just fate. They're not going to pick him. They're probably going to pick they're probably going to pick Sexton or Bridges or even Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. I feel like it sounds wrong in my head, Michael Porter Jr., MPJ. I'm just calling him MPJ. But the Magic only scored 103.4 points per game, which is 24th in the league. They shot 45%, which is 20th. 3-point percentage was only 35%, which is 28th. Free throw percent was 21st. They were 12th in assists, which is just top half of the league. 25th in offensive rebounds per game, offensive rating, and they were 25th. You know, this guy, Mohamed Bamba, he's a 7'10" wingspan, which is a combine record. They're going to get so much better defensively just because of Bamba. He's just going to leap up and just swat that ball away. And he really gives teams no chance. He's like a better version of Bismack Biyombo. Biyombo can guard anybody and block any shot. Bamba can do the same thing, but he does it better. I like Bismack Biyombo, and I think he's a great player, but he's not going to do as well. He's not going to do as he has a 7'6" wingspan, 6'10", only 25 years old right now. But he plays for the Orlando Magic right now. He didn't start this year. He only averaged 18.2 points per game. But I mean, the wingspans are they're almost identical. Bamba has 4 inches more. He also is like 3 inches taller, which is just a big plus. 3-4 inches taller, which is just a big plus for Magic. I'm doing some research as I'm talking to you guys because I'm right in front of my TV or my computer. He averaged this year. He averaged a lot. He didn't average a whole lot of blocks this year. He only had 18 minutes per game, which doesn't allow him to really play very well, very much. This year he averaged 1.2 blocks per game, which is pretty good considering how much time he played. He only played 1 year in Toronto before going to Charlotte, or before going to Orlando. You know, he's a great player, and he will continue to be full. But he's a good player, and he'll continue to be, but he won't be starting. Not even close. Bamba's going to start in front of him, and we've been talking about Bamba for a long time now. And there's a few commercials, and I will tell you who Chicago drafted after the break. And this, I'm still talking. I don't have any commercials. But I don't even know who's going next, to be honest. The Bulls are probably going to select Michael Porter Jr. No, I doubt they'll pick Porter Jr. It's just I doubt it. You know, there's a lot of things I doubt that are just like that. Michael Bridges, that's a possibility, but they do need a small forward, I think. I do reference Zach LaVine as a small forward for some reason in the NBA Top 10 episode of my podcast. It's a very long episode. That's the longest episode. And you can listen to it while you're doing anything, really. It's basically like music. You can listen to it while you're playing games and crap, and just scrolling through Facebook while you're in class or whatever in your headphones. But but the next pick is in, I believe. And we'll see in just a second, though, because there's still a break. I could see them picking Sexton, though, for the point guard spot. Sexton would be a great pick because they need a point guard, just straight up. I'm trying to think of who their point guard right now is. Chris Dunn, Cameron Payne, Jerry Grant. They have all those guys. Wendell Carter Jr., as I predicted, is the pick for the Bulls. It's like one of the only ones I've gotten correct since. Okay, so I got Bagley and Ayton correct. Okay, so Wendell Carter Jr. he kind of fell short due to being uh, the teammate of Bagley. He played center despite being an inch shorter than Bagley. Um, so I mean it's kind of weird, but I mean he played well and he's a top 10 pick in my book. That's why I put him in the mock draft. Um, he averaged. I mean, I guess he kind of fell in the shadow of Bagley, and that's what we're talking about. So I think this guy's going to be one of the steals of the draft. He will forever be in the shadow of Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen, though. I don't think he's as good as them, though. That's the thing. I don't think he won't amount to be an all-star in the league. He'll be good, but he won't be an all-star caliber player at all in his career. He averaged 13 points per game, 56%. 9 rebounds, which is less than Bagley, but he plays a center spot where you're supposed to rebound. Averaged 2.1 blocks, averaged 0.8 steals, 2 turnovers per game, which is less than Bagley. But the Cavs are on the clock, and this is a really big pick because the Cavs pick is a really big pick because it's kind of the difference between LeBron staying and leaving. They got to find somebody who's a playmaker and who can play very, very well, either in LeBron's absence or to play alongside LeBron, be the rookie of the year alongside LeBron, and continue to be great for the rest of his career, really. So this is a really, really big pick, and people don't even really realize it. This has been a crazy draft already. If you're just joining us, it's been a crazy draft. It's just Trae Young's already went from the Mavs to the Hawks. Luka Doncic went from the Hawks to the Mavs, and he just makes that team so much better. And it's just ridiculous. Wendell Carter Jr. is compared to Al Horford due to averaging 0.3 points more than him, but 0.4 rebounds less. And this guy, he's a space to floor guy. He also reminds me of Kevin Love. He can shoot threes if he needs to, but he can also get inside and dunk the ball. So you really can't go wrong with this guy. This whole reaction video is just going to be the top 10, by the way. Just we're 3 picks away. Cavs, Knicks, Sixers from the end of the top 10, and we'll see what they do, what the Cavs do, and I think this is important right here to keep LeBron. It's very, very important for the Cavs because they either are drafting the future or they're drafting the right now. We gotta win. So either LeBron already told him that he is staying or leaving, or he will right after this. If I would like to be informed if you're leaving, because I need to plan for the future. They were 5th in points per game, 4th in field goal percent. They need a defensive guy because they were 28th in opponent field goal percentage and 26th in opponent's points per game, which is just horrible. So they need to find a defensive guy who can score as well, because they need to find an all-around guy. And right now, it's Michael Porter Jr. We only saw 53 minutes this year of him, and is that all we needed? I don't know. But they need a point guard, a shooting guard, and a center going into this, entering the draft, not even entering free agency. Entering free agency, they're going to need some more things because LeBron's basically gone. Tristan Thompson's not going to cut it anymore. And Grant Hill's not going to cut it, and J.R. Smith isn't going to cut it. So it's just they need a defensive player who can also score buckets. They need a guy who can help LeBron on the offensive end and even if LeBron isn't staying, they need a guy who can defend, because without LeBron, they're going to be a much worse defensive team. Right? And they need a guy who can score in the absence of LeBron. I believe Larry Nance will get a lot more playing time because of LeBron's absence. So he's gonna just he's just gonna try and score his most, but I think his ceiling this year is 14 points per game. They need another guy to make up for that 13 points that LeBron scored 27 this year, and they need a guy who can fill 7 assists, 7 rebounds per game, just a game altering mentality. The pick is in actually right now. Uh, is Colin Sexton going to be the pick? I don't know, but the pick is in right now, and I will let you know as soon as I know. The pick is in. I will let you know as soon as I. Is Colin Sexton the guy? He's got good ball handling. He can shoot, and the pick is Colin Sexton from Alabama. The guy. He's a playmaking small or point guard, and he did it all for Alabama last year. He brought them. He hit butter us about a buzzer beater for them in March Madness. And I think this is a great pick. He is a great. Right now, for his rookie year, he'll be a great sidekick for LeBron. And I'm not even saying that to insult him. He'd be a great sidekick. He averaged 19.2 points per game, 44.7% field goal percentage, 33.6% three-point percentage. It won't really help them that much. 3.6 assists, which is not, but he didn't really have another star to play along with. He was really the lone star in Alabama. 8.8 steals, 2.8 turnovers, which means he barely has more assists than he has turnovers, which means he really has to worry about his decision making this offseason. I'm sure with LeBron, he'll be able to turn stuff around and stuff like that. Of what's happening, really. Oh, sorry for me yawning so much. But we got 2 more picks in the top 10. The Knicks are on the clock, and who will they draft? I have no idea. Probably Michael Porter Jr. and that's just a game changer. They need a guy who can knock down shots but also body people inside. Michael Porter Jr. is the guy to do that. They're leaning on the development of Frank Ntilikina, Emmanuel Mudiay, Trey Burke, and guys like him. I think if they give Trey Burke more playing time, he'll dominate more. And he can play more. He really dominated this year. He played very, very well. He played really, really well actually, especially in the last few games. He played pretty well. He averaged 12 points per game, which it's not bad at all. Against the Cavs on January, February, March, April. And April 11th, he scored 19 points. Yeah. Against the Hornets on March 26th, he scored 42. So he has the big game potential to do it any night, really. In the last month of the season, he averaged a lot of points. He averaged around 16, 17. Okay. We're going to do some fast math right here. One sec. The pick might even be in right now. I'm just not really paying attention to the draft. I'm paying attention to Trey Burke and how good he can be and how he has the potential to do great things. And that is the stats for his last month of the regular season. He only averaged 21 minutes per game this year, and he scored 12 points. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is also a great player. So divide 186 by how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games. Divided by 10. He averaged 18.6 points per game over the last from March 23rd to the end of the season. And Tim Hardaway Jr. also is a great player who averaged 17.5 points per game underratedly this year. And it's just he dominates games when he was on the Knicks this year. He was really the lone star when Kristaps went down, and he really thrived when he went down. He needs to work on his passing and his playmaking because he needs to, because if he's going to be a superstar in the league, like a lot of us need, like the Knicks need him to, he just needs to do things like that. And so the pick for the Knicks is probably in right now. No, it's not in actually. But the picks have been crazy today. But what do the Knicks need? A point guard. But they drafted Frank Ntilikina. They're still banking on him still developing. And then they could wait for one more year to see when Kyrie Irving gets out of Boston, if they can recruit him to New York. And then the pick is in actually right now. I will let you know when I know what the pick is. And then what was I talking about? Totally forgot. Kevin Knox from Kentucky is the pick. Small forward from Kentucky. I can definitely say I'm surprised. I can't say that I'm not surprised. Because I am surprised. Like, this guy was one of the least talked about guys going into this year. And now he's a top 10 pick. He's the 9th pick of the draft. And who knows, maybe he'll go in as a steal. But I have no idea. Oh, it's really weird. Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox. He sounds like somebody I had talked to during the season and got an interview from during March Madness, but you guys might think I'm a little too young for that, but I'm not, I guess. Wow. Also, where's Grayson Allen going to get picked? I hope he gets picked by the Hornets because the Hornets need a guy like him. Aggressive. But that's just really weird. Kevin Knox. Some people had him at number 10 actually at NBC. The Knicks or to the Sixers. But Michael Porter Jr., if he goes to the Sixers, that is the steal of the century. That is the steal of the day. If Michael Porter Jr. falls out of the top 10, I don't even know what to think. They might even pick up Michael Bridges. I just don't even know. Can you imagine if? Oh man, 15 points per game and 5 rebounds per game, Kevin Knox averaged, which is good. It's very good. And wow, it surprised me. This pick surprised me big time. He wasn't even in my top 12 players on my big board. He wasn't even top 12. Wow. I'm just sorry that I am being so silent right now. I am just so surprised. This is just... What the heck? Okay. He averaged 34% on 3-point, which keeps defenses honest. That's just a great pick from New York. A guy flying under the radar that could fly as one of the steals of the draft. And I know I'm saying that a lot. If the Sixers pick Michael Porter Jr., I think that's the steal of the draft, and they're already favorites to land LeBron. Can you imagine a lineup of Fultz, and then you put Simmons at the 2. You put Michael or LeBron at the 3, Michael at the 4, and then Embiid at the 5. That is one of the best shooting of in the league, just straight up. And with the exception of Ben Simmons, of course, that guy can't shoot anything. He's not a rookie. That's just really. That'd just be crazy. I think. I like Michael Porter Jr. I think that he'd be a great fit in Philadelphia, especially if they get LeBron. That'd be great. Because if Cleveland had got Michael Porter Jr. and he didn't even show up, and then they traded Michael Porter to the Sixers for their pick, and that's if LeBron is Michael Porter Jr.'s predecessor's teacher, then it's a GG. Is Michael Porter Jr. the guy they want here, though? He only played 53 minutes of basketball. I think he's better than what people think because of his injury. He's a great player. And oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. The pick isn't even in yet. This has been taking a long time. It's the last pick that I'm reacting to in front of you guys. 52 minutes. If this video doesn't end before an hour, I'll be really weird. So I gotta go take a shower. He averaged 10 points per game, only shot 33%. 30% from 3. 6.7 rebounds, only 0.3 assists. So he only played 3 games. So you can't really. I'm sure one of those games was cut short due to the injury. So I mean, you can't really blame him, but you can at the same time. It's weird. You'll see. We'll see who is he high on the draft boards or is he low? Will he be a top 15 pick? Who knows? This draft has just been crazy. And they need a shooting guard, a small forward, and a power forward. Straight up, and if they get Michael Porter, a power forward will be set as long as they get LeBron. If they get LeBron and Michael Porter Jr., then they're set. But they need a shooting guard. Is that the pick? It doesn't say the pick is in, but it says they drafted. There it is. Selected. Michael Bridges. Michael Porter Jr. has fallen out of the top 10. Can you believe it? But Michael Bridges is also a top 10 player. I think he's a junior, though. His age is a little higher. 6'7", 210 pounds. I think he is the closest to LeBron you're going to get in this. And I think this was a great pick by them. Small forward, they get a small forward to put there. And I think this is a great pick. Is it done? Thank you guys for watching. If you guys watched all the way through, don't forget to leave a comment who you think is going to be the steal of this draft, and then leave a like as well. Hit that